Your Eye on Annapolis daily news brief keeps you informed about what's happening in Annapolis, Anne Arundel County, and Maryland. Local news, local sports, local events, local opinion, and, of course, local weather. Your Eye on Annapolis daily news brief starts now.
Good morning. It's Monday, March 9th, 2026. This is John Frenaye, and this is your Eye on Annapolis daily news brief presented by Annapolis Subaru, CovingtonAlsina, and the SPCA of Anne Arundel County. Well, John O'Leary has the luck of the Irish behind him every single year. It never seems to rain on his parade, and man, yesterday's St. Patrick's Parade was another great one. We have some picks at eyeonannapolis.net, so you want to check that out, but it's Boomer Trivia time. Who won the prestigious Library of Congress Gershwin Prize for Popular Song back in 2013? It was the first woman to do so. Was it Joni Mitchell, Carole King, Dolly, or Stevie Nicks? We're going to have that answer for you in a few, but right now we have a lot of news to catch up on. So let's get into it, shall we? Mayor Jared Littman, joined by U.S. Senator Chris Van Hollen, U.S. Representative Sarah Elfreth, former Congressman John Sarbanes, County Executive Stuart Pittman, and state and emergency officials announced that Annapolis has secured $35 million in federal support for the long-awaited City Dock Resiliency Project. The funding had been uncertain for months, with Littman saying that he had only learned on Wednesday that it was finally approved. The nearly $100 million project is designed to reduce chronic flooding and storm surge damage around City Dock, Dock Street, Compromise Street, and other low-lying parts of downtown, while also improving stormwater management and reshaping the public waterfront space. Littman said the city now has the full funding package in place, including state, county, FEMA, and city money, plus proceeds tied to the Hillman Garage. Construction is already underway, and barring delays, it's expected to wrap up in March of 2028. The city of Annapolis is also launching a new Golden Pass parking program for seniors aimed at making downtown easier to visit during a slower stretch of the year. Beginning today and running through April 6, seniors age 62 and older can pay $20 to register their vehicle tag and receive up to 2 hours of parking per day at metered spaces on Maryland Avenue, Main Street, and the Mills Hillman Garage. Mayor Littman said spring is a good time for residents to rediscover downtown, and the city says the pass could be worth about $200 over the course of the month, depending on how often it's used. The program is being managed by Premium Parking, and registration is handled through an online portal with phone help available for anyone who would rather not wrestle with a website before coffee. The city does hope that the program will help seniors spend more time shopping, dining, and enjoying the waterfront without feeling like the meter is running faster than the conversation. We do have all the links on how to register at eyeonannapolis.net. And speaking of some cars, the Maryland Motor Vehicle Administration is using Vehicle Safety Recall Week to urge drivers to check their cars for open recalls, warning that unresolved safety defects can often lead to crashes or injuries. Motor Vehicle Administrator Christy Nizer said that a recall is not something to ignore, especially since repairs are done free of charge at authorized dealerships. Drivers can check for recalls at nhtsa.gov/recalls, and then you just enter your VIN or license plate number. The MVA is also proactive, and they alert drivers through registration renewal notices sent about 60 days before the expiration, and you can also check through the My MVA online account system. According to the agency, there were 997 safety recalls nationwide in 2025, affecting more than 29 million vehicles, with millions still unrepaired. And I'll tell you, the recall notices, if we are being honest, really look like junk mail, so this is a good bit of preventive medicine. You know, is Annapolis getting bakeried out? Another bakery is heading to Annapolis, with Tous les Jours preparing to open up at 167 Jennifer Road in the Jennifer Square Shopping Center near the Annapolis Mall. The sign is already up, construction is underway, and while there is no firm opening date yet, the project is clearly moving along. Tous les Jours describes itself as a French-Asian bakery offering breads, cakes, pastries, sandwiches, coffee, tea, and other drinks with products baked fresh daily. Annapolis once had a pretty thin bakery scene, if you ask me, but it's really changed in a big way. Black Market Bakers, Bakers & Company, Sweetheart's Patisserie, Ingrano, Tate, Paris Baguette have all helped turn the city into a much better destination for anyone in search of carbs, butter, sugar, or any good reason to abandon a diet. And finally, the Chesapeake Bay Foundation has announced the lineup for the annual Bands in the Sand fundraiser, set for Friday, June 13th at the Philip Merrill Environmental Center in Annapolis. Headlining this year's event is no other than Vertical Horizon, joined by local favorites Misspent Youth and Swamp Donkey. General admission is $220 or $180 if you are an early bird, and that only goes through March 31st. The Beachside Soiree includes all-inclusive food and drinks, access to the Chop Tank Oyster Reef, Oyster Bar, shuttle service from remote parking lots, and a tax-deductible donation. The event does support the Chesapeake Bay Foundation's work to protect and restore the bay, including education programs, oyster restoration, tree planting, and clean water advocacy. Last year's event raised more than $500,000, which is not bad for a party where people are encouraged to have a good time with a purpose. For many in Annapolis, Bands in the Sand has become a summer tradition. I know it has for me, and this year's lineup gives the fundraiser a little extra pop right out of the gate. Let's get our toes in the sand on June 13th. We have the links at eyeonannapolis.net so you can score your tickets at the early bird price. On Saturday on the Local Business Spotlight, we talked with Susie Salinas, who is an organizer with Systems by Susie. And if you do know a business or an organization that we should feature on our Local Business Spotlights, let me know who they are, and I'll be more than happy to reach out. And you know what? We also dropped a bonus pod on Friday with Lee and Patty from the Annapolis Film Festival, and I can't wait for that festival to roll around at the end of the month. But for now, you do want to give that one a listen. And a little bit later this week, we're going to be talking to Mayor Jared Littman on his first 100 days in office. All right, that is a wrap. First off, thank you, as always, for listening and sharing. And a quick thank you to our sponsors for today's Daily News Brief. Annapolis Subaru, the SPCA of Anne Arundel County, Hospice of the Chesapeake, CovingtonAlsina, Third Eye Comics, and Macmedics. As for that Boomer trivia, tough for me, because all of them I think would have been contenders, but it was Carole King. Over her career, she had 118 songs appear in the Billboard Top 100, and that is pretty darned amazing. All right, now you need to stay tuned for your local Eye on Annapolis weather from George Young. And of course, Ann Covington from CovingtonAlsina is here with her Monday Money Report. All of that's coming your way in less than a minute.
There are more than 500 pets in the care of the SPCA of Anne Arundel County that need good homes. And they have so much to offer the rest of us. At Annapolis Subaru, we are committed to helping the SPCA see that these animals stay safe and healthy. All year long, Annapolis Subaru partners with the SPCA to host pet adoption events, sponsor vaccination clinics, and community events. We feature pets on our weekly Canines and Crosstreks podcast. Our associates and our Subaru customers show up in packs at the Walk for the Animals and Lights on the Bay events. You can help our SPCA find loving homes for these pets. Volunteer, donate, foster, read a book, scratch some ears, or rub some bellies. Show up for the pets in the care of the SPCA of Anne Arundel County.
Next up, we're diving into today's Eye on Annapolis weather forecast. From sunny skies over the bay to storm warnings that could impact your plans, we've got the details to keep you ahead of the curve. Stay tuned. It's all coming your way in just a moment.
Hey everyone, this is George Young with your Eye on Annapolis Daily News Brief weather forecast for Monday, March 9th. Last week's forecast was a total implosion. Those backdoor cold fronts that wedge cold air into place and get supported with an easterly flow of air off of the ocean are the biggest nuisances every year. But temps finally jumped up nicely yesterday, and we're in for 3 great days in a row before some rain with a cold front late week, but then we'll bounce back again quickly for the weekend. Look for sunny skies today with temperatures in the lower mid-70s. Again, staying cooler in areas that are right near the water with more sun and mid to upper 70s tomorrow. From there, we'll likely see upper 70s and maybe lower 80s Wednesday with a very small chance of a shower in the PM hours, but rain becomes likely in the overnight hours into Thursday morning with a fair amount of rain throughout the day Thursday as temperatures only make the mid-50s or so due to the cold front passing through the region. But it'll be sunny behind the front each day, Friday through Sunday, with highs in the upper 50s to lower mid-60s to end the week and across the entire weekend. Okay, that's it for today. This is George Young for Eye on Annapolis Weather. Make it a great day out there today. Stay healthy and be safe. And be sure to visit eyeonannapolis.net/weather for the latest conditions and forecast information for the Annapolis region so you can always stay weather informed.
Have you ever thought, I think I'm okay, but you just want to know for sure? CovingtonAlsina is right here in Annapolis, helping women put a clear plan around their money, their goals, and their life. For over a decade, they've helped women turn uncertainty into clarity with practical guidance built around real life. Whether you're making a career move, planning for retirement, managing investments, or sorting through tax and estate planning, CovingtonAlsina helps you get organized and move forward with confidence. And if you'd like to learn before you leave, CovingtonAlsina hosts monthly educational events, virtual and in person. Learn more at CovingtonAlsina.com and click events, or call the Annapolis office at 410-457-7165. CovingtonAlsina.com, at the intersection of women and wealth. Advisory services offered through CovingtonAlsina, a registered investment advisor. Investing involves the risk of loss and unless otherwise stated is not guaranteed.
You work hard for your money. Is your money working hard for you? Managing and investing it can be confusing. Ann Covington, a financial planner from CovingtonAlsina, has been helping people make sense of it for nearly 20 years. Are you ready? Now, here's your Monday Money Report.
This is Ann Covington of CovingtonAlsina with your Monday Money Report. The markets were down across the board last week, with all three major indices moving into negative territory year to date. This does not mean you should panic. This is a normal short-term reaction to geopolitical events. If you have money set aside for the long term, maybe in a plan at work or in an RIA, how do you handle the short term? Your paycheck comes in, where does it all go? Creating a budget seems very big picture, restrictive, and is often hard to implement. Instead, focus on a spending plan. Find a notebook or yellow pad. Each page is a paycheck. Start with your next 3 paychecks. At the top of the first page, write down your current checking account balance. Then put how much is deposited each pay period. If it varies, it's okay to plan with a normal paycheck. These 2 numbers add up to how much you have to spend. Add them and write that down. Next, list every bill you have to pay before your next paycheck. This should also include groceries. Write down how much you normally spend on groceries. If your child needs new shoes, write that down. Same for haircuts, gifts, gas, everything you know you have to spend before you get paid again. You should also include savings, even if it is only $5 or $10. Total up your spending and subtract it from your available money at the top of the page. Whatever is left over is yours to spend, however you want. But what if that number is negative? That's why we start with 3 paychecks. Maybe your rent or mortgage and most of your other bills are all due in one pay period. Look at the previous page and see how much money there is left after those bills are paid. Can you use some of that to pay something early? Or is there something you can push to the next pay period, like a haircut or oil change? To keep you on track, there are 2 more things. First, put a check mark to the left of each bill that is scheduled to be paid, either because it is on auto pay or because you have gone onto the company's website or app and scheduled a payment. This keeps you from late or missing payments. Second, update it at least weekly. As bills are paid or groceries are purchased, cross it off and recalculate the amount available for you to spend at the bottom. If you're married, look at it together and make sure you're in sync with your finances. The system works for many people because we all have expenses that are expected but not regular, like car maintenance or vet bills. You may know that you spend on average $1,200 a year on your car, which works out to $100 a month. But it generally isn't $100 a month, and most of us don't set aside that $100 every month. And when the bill comes, it goes on a credit card because we didn't have the money. A budget is useful for seeing what you can afford, especially for big ticket items like mortgage payments or rent. But for day-to-day cash flow, it can seem overwhelming. Tracking cash flow and knowing what you have available to spend this pay period can make it more manageable. Your action item this week is to take a walk. As the weather warms up, getting outside and getting in some exercise is a free way to improve your physical and mental health. And both of those are linked to your fiscal health. Check out our website and Facebook page for more information and for our educational events like our signature Women, Wine, and Wisdom. CovingtonAlsina is a registered investment advisor. Information presented is for educational purposes only, not to make an offer or solicitation for the sale or purchase of any specific securities, investments, or investment strategies. Investments are all risk unless otherwise stated and not guaranteed. Be sure to first consult with a qualified financial advisor and/or tax professional before implementing any strategy discussed herein. Past performance is not indicative of future performance. And if you don't have a financial advisor, come talk to us. This is Ann Covington with CovingtonAlsina.
Third Eye Comics, the DMV's favorite nerd store featuring comics, anime, toys, games, graphic novels, records, and so much more. Visit the famous Third Eye Superstore in Annapolis, Maryland, only 5 minutes from Annapolis Mall, or one of our great locations in Lexington Park, College Park, Waldorf, or Richmond, Virginia. You can also shop online at thirdeyecomics.com.
You've been listening to the Eye on Annapolis Daily News Brief. Tell your friends and colleagues, this is the podcast where you can keep up on the latest with what's going on in Annapolis and Anne Arundel County. And don't forget about our website, eyeonannapolis.net, where you can find even more information. And make sure you follow us on Facebook at All Annapolis and on Twitter at Eye on Annapolis. This Daily News Brief podcast comes to you every Monday through Friday at 6 a.m.